Alrighty, it's time to do another painting session, and most likely it's our last one for this. Let's see. I'm just gonna email it really quick. Oh no. Oh yeah. We'll work on a different painting. We'll redo it. I have a lot of other things we have to get done anyways. So I just got an email from Reed, the client for this piece, and it's beautiful. But he had a long day, so he's gonna focus on other things tonight. So let's do, I have a different commission that needs to get completed. Oh, we have options. They're both 8x10s, either one with the kitties or one with a dog. And we've been focusing mostly on kitties, so this is gonna be a lot of like greens in this one. Let's pull this one. Let's just work on it for a little bit. Oh. Okay. There we go. So this is our little desk setup. You can see here, I'm gonna pull up our picture really quick. And this client wants us to put in clovers. Let me get into that email really quickly. Okay, so clovers, she wants clover. And I'm just like pulling up kind of like a stock picture to get the idea of what that looks like in the background. It's a green. It's a very green. So let's go ahead and kind of, she wants purple clover, so like red clover is what I'm thinking. For my commissions, some people really like to get involved with the actual making part, and they'll come and be a part of the process through live stream. And some people they really trust the process, and maybe they don't know what the process is like also is another part of it, but they'll just communicate via email about what they want, and I'll send in check-ins and stuff like that. Okay. And I'm kind of envisioning some things right now with how we're gonna set it up, because if we're gonna pop the original image that we had, this dog's name's Bailey. So the original image that we had of Bailey was in an inside space. So the lighting is very neutral. It's a little bit cooler. It's the colors that are reflecting from the environment are a lot more neutral, more like gray, white, beige type of stuff like that. And then when we get into going outside, we're going to get a whole different setup of reflective elements based on the environment. So I'm just trying to get the right lighting for this piece. Our lighting is coming in from the right? So whatever I do, the reference photo, for me, it helps if I have something where the light is coming in from that right side too, because it would be very odd if we popped in full-blown lighting all around her, but she's cast in shadow. That would not be so real. And although I am finding an image online of what this might look like, I'm just using it for like inspiration, that it's not a direct image that we're going to be transferring. We're going to make it pretty like loose, and Clover's compared to a dog this size would probably be that big, half a nose, maybe like an eyeball, if they're up here. So if you're thinking about perspective and close up, it might be big. Far away, very, very small. So yeah, real time, we're just figuring something else out really quick. I hadn't planned on working this right now, so that does change things up a little. But expect the unexpected. Ooh, okay. I got some really great photo references here. And I'm also trying to remember, like, what does Clover's in my neighborhood look like? Because this dog grew up and lived in the neighborhood close by. The event where I met this client, she's a neighbor. You never know, like, who lives in your neighborhood and who's doing what behind closed doors, right? So she just so happened to be one of my neighbors who I just didn't really engage with. Our lives were just separate. Okay, let's try this. I'm gonna stick some pretty rough kind of spots in there, and then we'll come back in and put a little reflective, like some of the greens in there, which is interesting because the greens, just trying to get our lighting right so it's not so reflective. Our greens are going to be really opposite of what we've got here going on. Let me see. I'll just do a little screenshot of our photo reference for our clovers. And we'll put that in there. That's me. Okay. So I'm just tossing that picture up for you so you can see what it looks like. And then painting Miss Bailey. And we'll build up just small. It's kind of hard. It's been sitting for a little bit. Build up some of those colors we need for the little clovers, and then we can put one over here just to give a good big size comparison. A few. And then, as we get further away, I'm just going to kind of lighten some of those up. I'll get less of that shadow cast and a little less detail. We'll come back in and we'll add our the green in this section. And then my other question is, should we give it, do we want to maybe have a little sky coming through? Let's go in and create that. This is turquoise, but it's really chunky. Let's see if we can bring it back. Maybe just a little bit of slow dry medium might help. There we go. Okay, slow dry medium. Here's some yellow Hansa, yellow opaque. It's kind of nasty, isn't it? It's chunky. Some people really love using texture in their paintings. It's not my favorite thing to do. Maybe one day. Okay. Alright, let's see. We're just making it up, so it's not too, there's no pressure. Such a bright color. We've got her kind of muted down with all that shadow, and that shadow was really like original. It was in the reference photo provided. I even wonder if we want to like have some that's just kind of up, crossing over with her here like that. do that pretty blue sky. We'll come back into that. Put in a little bit of that green reflective quality in there. It's not a lot, it's like just a tap here and a tap there of green, which I'm hoping I don't regret, but just a little bit of reflectiveness there. This is going to be like sky reflection. This will be more like reflection off of the environment. Okay, we got a good little start there. It looks fairly good. I'm gonna start developing some of those clover pieces. We can always come in and like shift and change a little bit over here. The sun's coming from over here, so it would make sense that the sky's a little brighter there, and we could just like raise up a little bit of the sky, like cover it. I don't know. I think that once we put some of those clovers in, we can always kind of... In the original picture, she's sitting in a room, the window's on this side. We can make it so that it looks like there's trees kind of like covering this side. Make it more shaded. The view is pretty straight on, like from her side, from her level too, so it's okay the way that everything is going in the background. It's not like we're ruining anything or giving too much away or anything like that. Yeah, I just want to be like mindful of how much time I spend on this background too, because I spent a considerable amount of time kind of really figuring out the depth and the values for her portrait portion, which the portrait is the most important part of this, right? Like the commission was for a portrait. The commission is not for a perfect flower. So thinking they could take a, you know, they could have taken a photo if that's what they wanted, but this is what they've asked for. So that tells me the most important part is the portrait. The second best part is making sure that I think that everything around is giving the energy that you want to have, right? Like the joy, nostalgic kind of feel to it. So I'm pretty pleased so far, but we're gonna get into it now and just start really developing those flowers, which are sort of like little tiny spheres, brighter on the top, darker on the bottom, and sort of in this purplish kind of hue. And as they go back, they get smaller, so maybe we go even smidgen bigger up front. And then just looking at like the closer ones, you see it's like a blue purple, so to get that white. And then we can come back in with the actual white. I just have to pop it into the tray. We need a little more That titanium white looks really good. I'm pleased with the color. And maybe we put some like grass in with the clover, and then we want some maybe like a 4-leaf clover in there too. And then green isn't my favorite like for portraits. Maybe I need to lean into that, but I think that we could also play on this pink and kind of give a little bit of that like rosy kind of reflective light. That's one thought. And then we definitely have to go like more muted and dark. But for now, it's like a fine line between how much detail did they want in the background. And like stylistically, we could be done, you know, like that could be a thing, but it still has a very unfinished quality about it with all the yellow that's poking through. Over here, it looks a little bit almost more this one. I really like this big clover, but these ones over here, maybe I should make some of them bigger. Cave. Okay, so the leaves look like that. Oh, okay. You can't even see it, eh? I think it's time we start getting those individual petals on the flowers. I think before I do that, I want to send a picture to the client, just ask, hey, is this what you're thinking? Because what if we do all of that work for the petals and they're like, they're not like loving it. I do just want to like brighten up a little bit. I know that we're kind of pushing that with the smaller bits, but when we get to more defined and detailed brushes, but I just put this down here so we can try and brighten up that highlight, really show off like where the light is coming from here. Okay, we'll pause, take a little break. I want to get some feedback from our client, and then we'll get back into it and sort of finish out some of those details, rough in the flowers, and find out if there's any other final details that they want in order to finish this piece. But it's a good one. It's turning out really well. There's some details that we really need to like hone in on, figuring out, you know, if the light's coming from this direction and it's kind of diffused, it's not too intense, how would that look on the flowers? So that's my next task. But for tonight, I think that's good. We'll pause here. We still have a couple more commission pieces to do, and we'll get back into Grendel and Mazzo, which we started a few days ago. We'll get back into that one when I hear back from Reed, and then I have another portrait that's going on. There's this one. We also just have a few like finishing touches to do on the faces of these guys. So it's going good. All the pieces that we're working on are coming along. And then the last one, which I might need to just make a whole separate like video on, is this portrait of Timmy, which is an acrylic portrait. It got a little banged up right there. So do you see? I've just been so like worried about it. I want to figure out how to best fix it. But I've been a little stuck. It's just, you see that scratch right across there. Right there. How do we fix that? That's the question. And I did not put an isolation coat down, so there is a varnish on top of here. Acrylic paint and then varnish, but you can see that spot where it just got, something scuffed it, and it's not ideal. So how do I fix it? Because if that wasn't there, this piece would already have gone home to live with its people. Yeah, that's frustrating. How do we protect our paintings? It's super important. And I'm glad that it happened while I still own it. Like, I still have it in my possession, because if it got to the client, you know, through the mail, and it had this damage on it, like how would a client fix that? They wouldn't know what to do. So I want to make sure that I take some time with the repair, get it all done, and then we can send it off to go home. But that's been kind of on my mind heavily, and I've been looking up information about it. So if you have ideas, let me know, drop it in the chat. But today we're gonna take a picture and send it to the client, get some information about what they want. Love acrylic. It's already dry, but I'm gonna clean up here, and I'll see you guys next time.